I'm open. Randy, why don't you just run and fade corner? It's like the easiest thing to do on this game. Bro, there's nothing you can do about the fade drags though. You see that? What? 2 stops somehow? Oh my god, what a stop. Any bucket, any bucket. No, shoot it, shoot it. Oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god. Come on! Lockdown! Lockdown of doom! Bro, Grundy shot 3 of 9 and we still won that. What is good, y'all boys, man? As you guys can see right here, we have our 6'8" Demi ISO lockdown build. And I know you guys can see this already. How in the world did I get that many cap breakers? But hold on, because in reality, I've actually only unlocked 6 of my cap breakers so far. But as you guys can see right here, we have broken the builder. Our ball handle went from a 66 all the way to an 86 with only 4 cap breakers. Our speed with ball went from a 70 to an 80 with 2 cap breakers. But by setting our ball handle at such a low amount, same as our speed with ball in the builder, it allowed me to have everything else high. And this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is how you can maximize the new cap breaker system when making your 6'8" build. I'm sure many of you guys out there are sick and tired of just getting faded on the 2s. You can't seem to get any contests in them. It is just such an unstoppable playstyle. So you thought, you know what? If you can't beat him, then you gotta join him. And that is exactly the reason why so many of you guys are making 6'8" now, including myself. I'm not gonna lie, I was trying to play the 2s on my 6'4". Like, it is doable, but there is just no competing with the 6'8" just running and fading on the 2s. It is by far the easiest playstyle on this game. As you guys can see right here, you just can't miss, you can't get contested. So that is why I decided to make my own 6'8", except with a twist. I didn't just want to be like every other 6'8" build out there doing the same exact thing. Like, although I wanted to be like a 6'8" that could just run and fade everything, I also wanted to be a 6'8" that can stop the other 6'8". And this is where the key difference of my build comes from. So I opted in for a lot of defense on my build. As you guys can see right here, we have a 93 perimeter defense as well as an 85 steal. And the only real achievable way of doing that, alongside like maintaining a high midi and a high 3, was to lower our driving dunk. 73 driving dunk and 65 vertical is the bare minimum that you want on a 6'8" build. And if I am being completely honest, I am so glad I did this, because I don't even rim run on this build at all. Like, I would legit take maybe 1 dunk every like 3 or 4 games. But in most cases, every other game honestly just looks like this. I'm literally just shooting the ball. So why on earth do I need a high driving dunk? But anyway, another key thing that this build has that a lot of 6'8" don't is an 81 standing dunk, as you guys can see right here. And this allows me to get silver rise up, which is honestly so effective. And in most cases, honestly, I feel like the standing dunk is a lot safer than the driving dunk. And I can still dunk the ball very consistently and still take advantage of the smaller guys in the paint. But the absolute beauty of this build is that it is basically a 6'8" meta ISO build on the 2s. But then once you bring it to the 3s, you can also play like a pure lockdown out of the corner. But at the same time, you are such an offensive threat as well, because 1, you can dribble the ball with your 86 ball handle and your 80 speed with ball. You can run and fade everything, and you can create your own offense out of the corner, like say when your guard is out of stamina. Anyway, if you guys were to go into the builder, this is how you make this build. So shooting guard, 6'8", 186 pounds, 6'9" for the wingspan, and these right here are your stats. So I'm going to talk about everything here very, very briefly, and what I have planned for this build. Obviously, you guys can use this as a base. Feel free to tweak things as you go. So first things first, like I said before, we want a very, very, very high amount of defense. So 93 perimeter, as you guys can see right there. That doesn't actually give you anything. But once you get to 95, which is what I'm planning for this build, because I'm actually planning on doing defense build specialization, which I've actually, well, I don't know why I said planning, because I've already started my defense build specialization on this build. And the 2 cap breakers that I get from that, I am going to put on this stat, perimeter defense, which will get me Challenger Hall of Fame, which I will then use my max +1 to get that to legend. And then 85 steel right here gives us gold interceptor. Once again, max +2 this time. I can put my gold interceptor up to legend interceptor. And then here we have our 60 interior defense to give us bronze paint patroller. Same as our block 74, also for the reason being bronze paint patroller. Anyway, for those of you guys wanting to do the exact same thing, like say if you wanted to make a fresh new 6'8" build, but you didn't want to go with this, go for a 71 Parsac, because this is like the bare minimum that you should go for anyway. This doesn't have to be upped anymore or cap raked anymore. Ball handle at 66, you guys saw before. If you want to get to an 86 ball handle from cap breakers, put that at a 66. If you want to get to an 85 ball handle, you can actually drop that to a 65. And then speed with ball, once again, 70. 1 cap breaker will get that to a 75. One small tweak that you could do with my version of this build is if you could try and get 73 strength. As you guys can see right here, we have 72, which allows us to get these badges right here. But if you get the 73 strength, and once we actually up our ball handle, that will allow you to get gold strong handle. If that is something that you would want on the build, you'd probably have to lower maybe your standing dunk up to where you get bronze rise up, for example. So say 72 standing dunk, and then you can up your strength to 73. That way you can actually also max out your 3 right away to a 90, which is also another key feature of this build. We have a 93 point maximum cap, because that will allow us to get deep bomber takeover on this build. So that's one tweak you could do right here if you wanted. But personally for me, though, I prefer this because I know later on I'm gonna get an extra cap breaker to cap that 3 point anyway, and then cap that strength as well. So I would much rather keep the 8 extra attribute points to get that 81 standing dunk that will let me get silver rise up. And then that is our build right there. And as you guys can see right here, we have shades of Dan Maherly, Tracy McGrady, Kobe Bryant, and you have built a 2-way sharp shooting riser. So this right here is a different version from my build, but as you guys can see right here, this is also very, very optimized. But anyway, I just made this to show you guys a more traditional 6'8" if you want strictly a, slashing 6'8" ISO build that can also defend and shoot, similar to mine. And then if you end up making this is what you have built. John Starks, Eddie Jones, Kobe Bryant for your shades, and you have made a 2-way mid-paint scorer. And then for this version of the build, as you guys can see right here, the cap breakers are just slightly different, but still very similar. You need 5 cap breakers to get that from 65 ball handle to an 85. And then if you want speed with ball just up to a 75, all you need is still just 1 cap breaker. So in total, you will still need 6 caps for this version. I mean, if you want the extra 2, you'd probably want to do playmaking build specialization. Use it on these 2 caps here. Get it to 80 speed with ball as well. And you now have the same playmaking badges and all the animations that every 6'8" has. Anyway, in saying that though, I still much prefer my version of the build because like I said before, I don't really need the driving dunk. I don't want to be like everybody else there on the 6'8", just rim running. I would rather just shoot everything, which is what I do anyway on this build. And I still get the extra defense. This steal stat I can't have on the other build. I also have a high 3 for this version of the build. And overall, this is the build that just suits my playstyle. And I am honestly loving it. As you guys can see right here too, I've already maxed it out to a 99. And as for our badge perks, this is currently what I have. Max +1 limitless range, you get that to gold. But important ones right here, shifty shooter legend. If you want to be able to fade everything and make everything, you want to max +2 that. And then moving on to our SIGs, as you guys can see right here, this is everything that I'm rocking with. These here are the very best playmaking / dribble moves that you want on this 6'8". One very important one as well that I forgot to mention earlier was actually our motion style, which is all the way down here. Jalen Suggs, the absolute best motion style for 6'8", and you need an 83 agility to be able to equip this. But anyway, that is basically it, man. Those are our SIGs. Oh, and our jump shot, sorry, to end is right here. Kyle Korver base. This jump shot right here is absolutely chicken. Try and rhythm shoot it if you can rhythm shoot it. L2 dip it as well if you're off a catch and shoot. Upper release 1 KCP, upper release 2 Baluba. Release for our visual cue, fastest release speed 70-30 for our blending. And that is it for the video, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to drop a like and subscribe as well if you guys found this video helpful. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.